Noisy pixel.
I just have to be comfortable. If I'm gonna sit on my freaking computer all day, I just got to be comfortable. You know, I bought a new desk too. I might be spending too much money. Okay, we're not getting into this. What's up, nerds, and welcome to episode 72 of the Noisy Pixel podcast. Here we talk about games, but mostly about ourselves. I am your host, Azario Lopez, and with me today in Goudelock.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, you know that everybody else is busy when you and I are hosting this show.
Definitely, yeah. It's been a long time since I've been on, yeah.
Yeah, and Brian's still working away on stuff, so I didn't want to bug him, and I was like, well, what's another week, Brian? I'll take the helm. I'll take one for the team, put down everything I'm doing, and talk for a little bit with my friends. How have you been?
I've been all right, man. It's except for we're both in California, and like going outside was already precarious, but now it's also on fire, so that kind of sucks. So
we are probably, Ian and I are probably like 50 minutes away, an hour away from one of the fires, maybe an hour and 20. I'll give it an hour 20.
Yeah.
But it is it's like Silent Hill outside.
It really is. It is.
It has that kind of, I don't know, nobody's smiling, no one's happy, everyone feels it, you know? It's like we're all in this hellish world together.
Yeah, I was actually listening to one of those soundtracks earlier today, and it was very fitting. So, yeah, hopefully everybody's safe, and I know there's some even further up north. So, yeah, if anybody is affected by those, I just hope everybody's okay.
Be safe, yeah, for sure. Other than that, and really started the tone of this show.
Yeah, right.
I guess some house cleaning. We are approaching our year anniversary in October, so that's exciting. Our 2-year anniversary. I'm sorry, time flies when you're kicking and screaming.
Yeah,
that's exciting. I expect stuff from that, and
yeah, that'll be cool. It'll be about a year for me. So yeah, I know, right? Crazy.
For some reason, everybody, like I was telling Ian this the other day, but everybody really likes your reviews, or you just review the most indie games that everyone wants to know about.
That might be it. I think because you pick games, and of course we get to pick games too, but you kind of know our interests and that sort of thing. Yeah. So kind of picking games towards us, and maybe that's just it, where a lot of games that a lot of people are interested in, I'm definitely down with, or at least just as interested or curious about. So I've lucked out with people are pretty nice in my in my video comments too. I've noticed that, like some of you other guys, man, they're just, you get some really rough comments, but everybody, thanks for being respectful, guys.
Yeah.
So
it's mostly fanboys though, I just think it's so funny when people take time out of their day to comment something so mean, and I imagine them behind their phone screen or behind their computer desk, and just like taking time out of their day to think of something like pretty outlandish to say.
And
then I could take criticism. You want to criticize me? I
know. Yeah.
And I know how to apologize. And I do know how to say I'm sorry. I say it a lot in my relationship, and it just comes naturally to me.
Yeah. And
so if you call me out, don't be afraid to call me out or call any of us out, but nice about it, and don't call us names, because we'll call you a name and then you won't like it.
Well, and it's okay too to have a different opinion, and that's actually I've been pleasantly surprised with in some of the comments that I've seen. It's just like, yeah, nice review, but I'm gonna pass. And it's like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Different strokes, man. Like
Yeah.
whatever works for you. But that's probably the best way to approach it, I think. Yeah, because
I really like the comments that give their own review of the game. I think
yeah,
those are the best. Even when they don't agree with me, I just think they offer a second opinion of sorts
yeah,
because we can't all play the games that we all play, so we can't do those
for
second
sure.
opinion type things. And I just
Mhm.
like when commenters kind of give their second opinion on
And it is
things.
cool, especially with games that don't get a whole lot of coverage, to just have somebody else, um, give their even just their experience playing it, whether it's like they agree or not with the review. They're just like, hey, I think, man, what was it? One of the games, maybe it was Windbound, where man, that's been a pretty divisive game. But I know that I think one of the commenters was just like, hey, I'm loving this, and this is like right up my alley. And it's like, dude, that's cool.
Mm, yeah.
Like I think that's awesome that even though, some game might not really have been my thing, that it's cool that people can get enjoyment out of it. So yeah.
I did not know that Windbound was a survival game when I
Right.
gave it to you. I thought it was more like of an adventure game. I'm so tired of procedurally generated crap, man.
Okay.
I'm getting over it.
No, I know. I because I know some people really dig that. So I don't want to, but I'm over it too. As far as what I don't like is whenever it seems super obvious that it's trying to make up for any other shortcomings of the game. Um,
Mm,
like instead of saying, "Hey, I'm going to develop this really cool, interesting level that flows really well," it's just like
mm.
procedurally generated and hopefully something just works,
Yeah,
and
I feel like that's why you liked those segments where you kind of look at the art on the walls and you kind of discover something. It's because
yeah,
those sections felt like they were actually developed and created by the
right,
team, whereas
right.
like the other things were just like, this is another run, you know. Hopefully, I don't
That's
die this time.
Yeah, exactly. And I- again, it's one of my biggest pet peeves is just like if it's procedurally generated, I really appreciate when things truly feel like a unique experience each time. And for me, it just really breaks it when you're encountering the same thing over and over again, but the layout might be different. But it's like I don't even remember the layout from the last time because it's so kind of generic.
Mm,
I'm speaking in general terms here about
mm.
not just like Windbound, but yeah, that always gets me when it's just like, okay, it's maybe different, but it's the same thing. It's so. Anyways, yeah.
I recently played The Outer Worlds Parallon Gorgon.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
was expansion.
Mhm.
Um, this is one of those games that's not procedurally generated, and every experience was tailored by the developer and kind of touched on. But within this kind of tailored experiences are so many different variations of the experience depending on your play
Gotcha.
style. So if you like to see, like the final boss, and because I played through it 3 times for my review,
Yeah.
with different character types, but with one with like my sneak all the way up, and just
Yeah.
I didn't even have to fight the last boss. I just went around them, went around all their goons,
Oh,
and
that's so
and
cool.
then just
See,
completed the mission.
that is my jam. I love it's not exactly the same, but any morality kind of choice,
Yeah.
quest kind of thing too. Just because it kind of gives you something different and but you're right, it is a lot more thought out, I think,
Mhm.
and but it does still allow you to play things and gives you a lot of flexibility in the way you want to play it. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
And people gave that game like an 8s and 7s. I gave it a 9, but like I saw criticisms about it that it was more of the same, and I don't
Mhm.
understand that kind of approach because um it's, it's more of the same in the same sense that you're not getting like new powers or anything,
Right.
sure, but it's an RP. It's already from a base game, you know. All you
Yeah.
want is you get new areas to explore, you get new events that happen, new side quests. I can't think of anything more I would want from the Outer Worlds than that.
I
And for a reviewer to say that it's more of the same and not kind of offer what they
Yeah.
expand on that, like it's more of the same. I would have rather them put in this or put in that, but it's just like it stops there, you know. No, it's just the Outer Worlds. Well, the Outer Worlds is a great game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great game.
I the people get so weird about DLC because it seems like what bothers me about DLC doesn't. I mean, it does, but people, I think, because of that, they get so nitpicky about what's in their DLC and what experience it presents to them. And if it for the price, if it's relatively okay and it's um, gives me a little bit more of the game I already like, I'm happy.
Mhm.
The only time I'm really not happy with DLC when it's just maybe skins and like or costume swaps and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's like, okay, like that would have been nice just as a free update, just to keep
Mhm.
your audience happy. But if
I
it's like,
think BioShock Infinite did something like that where they
yeah,
just did like a survival mode. I'm like,
yeah,
this is
stuff
your
like that, yeah. So
that's the
that,
last time I bought BioShock Infinite was the last time I bought a season pass for a game, and I was so stoked to
yeah,
buy that season pass too. That extra $20, I was like, "You know what?
yeah,
This is going towards a great time," you know? And
yeah.
I not only did I have to wait a year almost for it, but it was not what I wanted when it
I,
came to DLC. It was a survival mode, and I'm like, "Why am I playing this? Like, it's not what I wanted." So yeah, DLC can definitely go wrong
Oh
in that
yeah,
sense.
for sure. And I think that's the other thing is the unknown. And like sometimes people get their hopes up, especially when it's like a season pass and they don't reveal what it is, and you're just like, oh man, it's going to be something cool, and you're just waiting for it, and it's something like that. It is disappointing for sure. Yeah, but
Ian, I think we should talk about the Xbox Series
yeah,
S and the Xbox Series X that was revealed this week
yeah,
as and prices as well. So we have the Xbox Series S sitting at $299.99 and the Xbox Series X at $499.99. Do any of these consoles interest you? Do you plan on jumping into next gen on day one?
not on day one for me.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of with what's I guess kind of with what's going on right now, and but
Yeah.
I kind of always have been that way. I kind of wait just a little bit with
Mhm.
the only consoles that I've done that with is Switch. I got day one. And I think that might be it. Yeah.
You know what I like about Switch?
What's that?
Not to change the subject of
No,
Switch,
go
but
for it.
you bought it. Okay, so you bought a PS4, right?
Yeah.
And 2, 3 years after you bought that PS4, the
Hmm.
fans just get like super loud when you're playing games now,
Oh
and like
yeah.
they kind of
Yeah.
force. I mean, Switch is still a relatively quiet machine, you know, and I play
Yeah.
that thing a lot nowadays,
Oh my
and
god. Yeah.
it's
It's
just a low little hum sometimes when if I'm
yeah.
charging and playing, but other than that, it's
Yeah.
chills.
Yeah,
And
other than controller, drift issues that I've had, I'm been super happy with it. Like it's
yeah.
yeah, I have no like I think with the other um first day releases with a lot of other consoles, it's just been so slow on the get-go for so many of them, and kind of
Mm,
a lot of them have like you're mentioning the fans, even in later editions, but like so many of them have like hardware issues from the get-go, and then they kind of correct it. And so I, I'm that's not a big part of the reason why I'm kind of holding off, but I'm also you know, I am a little bit more interested in the PlayStation as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against Xbox. It's just as far as kind of exclusive titles and
Because
really,
it's because Halo's not a launch title, huh? You really wanted that Halo,
you know, I
and now that
suck
they're
at Halo so bad. I'm
now that they're
so
not
bad at
giving it
first
to you.
person shooters. Oh my god. Uh, but
I just
yeah, and you know what? Okay, nobody really. Well, people have talked about this, but Xbox messes with my mind because I grew up with Nintendo and I grew up with the Super Nintendo controller, and the swapping in the things has forever messed up my mind. Um, for those that might not know what I'm talking about, the Y and the X
oh,
is
yeah.
and the B and A are in a different position on the Xbox versus Nintendo controller, and I think it was that way with Dreamcast as well. But yeah, it just has messed with my mind. And so it just honestly is because I'm old, it's a little bit easier for me to go with something that's almost totally different, which is PlayStation. So familiarity is a big part of it too. But
Yeah. My thing is like because I got the PS4 on day one too, but long after the PS4 launched,
yeah,
I was still playing PS3 games. Like I remember playing Tales of Xillia
sure.
2
Yeah,
and a lot of JRPGs started coming out while the PS4 was out. And I have a feeling that this is going to happen this generation, but I will upgrade
yeah,
because of the backwards compatibility that I'm hoping works for the games that I want it to.
yeah.
Um, but I still have my launch PS4 and it's still working, but it is getting very loud and very hot.
Very hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of scary, but yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I turn it on and my room feels like it gets 30 degrees hotter.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But we're talking about Xbox right now.
Yes,
Come
we
on.
are. Yeah, I
Because
know, right? Um,
so the differences between the two products, they it looks like it's a lot in the form of just the graphic. You have the 12 teraflops, and I have no idea what this means, by the way. So
I,
we are the worst people to probably talk about this.
yeah, yeah,
So,
same.
okay,
But
let's just say that the GPU on the Xbox Series X is better than the GPU on the Series S. And
yeah,
also, it has more RAM than the Series S, and it has a better resolution than the Series S. Also, the storage space is about almost 500 gigabytes bigger at 1 terabyte. Um, Even the software, you have to imagine that you're probably only going to get probably about 950 of those gigabytes. Um, but we'll have to wait and see on that. As for the price, I think the price point is nice.
mhm.
Um, isn't this what the Xbox One X launched at? Was four oh yeah, it was 499.99, right? Like the new 4K gaming systems. I think they
I
all
believe
launched.
so. I think it started off like, if not exactly there, like pretty close. Um, so I mean, it's years on. That's not. It's not. I don't think a crazy price. I know some people were thinking it would even be like 600 or something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay how much people might have to save to purchase it, but I mean, for what it is, and, and again, I don't know what teraflops are, but they sound impressive. It's kind of like
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah,
it's
I
kind
have
of like
no idea
blast
what a ray
processing.
trace is. I don't know what anti-aliasing is.
No, yeah, but
Can't see frame rates.
yeah, and but of course, this is at launch too, so I mean, um, it was around what I was kind of expecting. I was actually expecting it might be a little bit more. So, and having that second console, I was actually going to ask you about that and your feelings on that. If you had to choose one, and I think I already know, but if you had to choose one of these, what would you go with?
Well, yeah, it's definitely no brainer. I would have to pay for the Xbox Series X because it
Hmm.
has physical game support.
Right.
I just don't like the idea of like a Series S of relying on software to hold on to my games, and then the constant need to juggle all those digital games. I own a lot of digital games because
Hmm.
we review them, but
Sure.
normally if I really like a game, I'll buy it physically.
Right.
Um,
I've seen their
and
wall.
that's yeah, and that's just how it is, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Xbox Series X has a disc. Well, I'll pay an extra $200 for it, I guess.
Right. Right.
I do want to be future proofed with my tech too. I don't want to buy a
Mhm.
Series S and then realize later down the line that wow, now I have this 8K TV, but my Xbox Series S only goes up to 4K upscaling and it looks terrible on it. You know, because
Gotcha.
I mean, do we need 8K televisions? Hell no. But you know, in like 6 years they're gonna be like $200. So it's like, well, we gotta we gotta anticipate these changes. And no, I will not buy an 8K TV today nor tomorrow. But
Right.
when it gets down to that $400 $300 range, well, I'll start looking. The thing about the Xbox Series X though is like if I'm going to be reviewing games, I want to be reviewing the best version of those games. And I think with all those teraflops and all those gigabytes,
Yeah.
I think that'll give me the best experience.
Right. Yeah. And because they're going to have, you were talking about like physical copies, and they're going to have like awesome exclusive like steel box, beautiful,
Yeah.
crazy things. So
My
yeah.
Xbox One collection is
Mhm.
very small. It is my
Yeah.
by far my smallest collection. It's just
Yeah.
I just get the exclusives and there's not that many. So
Huh.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Xbox One library is not satisfying. You know, they get people with that Xbox Game Pass, and that's coming to these consoles
Sure.
too. And I think it's like $25 or something, and you get a bunch of
Yeah.
games. Um, or for the Games Pass, it's like I was accidentally paying $15 a month for probably 8 months.
Yeah.
I forgot. I forgot that I had it on, and I was like, "Why is this taking $15 out of my account every month? What is this?" And I googled it. I was like, "Oh, I have Game Pass."
I,
And
I,
it's like
I
it was the Game Pass for the console and for PC, and I have no idea how to access Microsoft games on PC. So
you know, I seriously would be so interested in not only Xbox, but just any service that is a subscription based that people just forget they have it, like Netflix or whatever that they don't use. But just it would be so interesting to see how many dollars are achieved for that company through just forgetfulness. That would be interesting. But yeah, this is cool. I because there are diehard like Xbox, fans. So I think I don't know. This looks cool.
it looks cool. I don't like the speaker. I don't like the speaker on
Yeah,
the Xbox Series S. I don't
it's
like the name either. The names are fucking terrible. It's just
S and X. Yeah, I
this whole
it,
X thing and this come on guys. Like who did you pay $500,000 to name these consoles? Like oh my god, get away from the X because you already have the Xbox One X, you know? Like
yeah.
just how about God, I don't know where you would go from here, you know? It's like I can't
That that
even think of a name.
that's that's the thing is I feel like it would I would almost lose it more if PlayStation did a change up at this point, and I hope they
Yeah.
don't in the future going forward, because you're just like you got numbers, just stick to it,
Mm,
But Xbox kind of already started off doing
an
something,
Xbox Circle.
yeah. So now they can't really go back. I don't think. So
So these consoles are coming out on November 10th. You can pre-order them starting on September 22nd. I will most definitely be putting in my pre-order because I want to review games, and to do
there you
that
go.
for you all, I have to spend $1,000 this November on new consoles. So
He's doing it for you.
that's the price I pay.
Yeah.
The price I pay.
Yeah. That is surprising though, like the release date. It was for me anyways. And I'm not sure if that's just kind of throwing humanity a bone here, but uh, I think a lot of people are excited that they will be able to play next gen so fast. I mean, relatively fast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, and the way these months are passing by, dude,
Hmm.
it's gonna be in 2 months, it's gonna go by insanely fast. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully California doesn't burn down by then.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Bring
Yeah.
to bring
Fingers
this
crossed.
to bring this 360 around.
Yeah.
Uh
Um,
just some quick one-offs. Did you watch the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake trailer?
okay. I saw images from it,
Mhm.
and I I have seen the Noisy Pixel post on it, and so I'm not the best person, but I wasn't I I I wasn't sure if they were the new images released
Are
or
the old ones?
yeah. So
Like, which game am I looking at here?
yeah.
It's,
I feel like
sucks. Did you ever feel connected to the Prince of Persia series though, growing up?
I
Or
not super connected in the gameplay wise, but just aesthetically and even early on with Prince of Persia and man, even going back to like Karateka, like um just the smoothness of that animation um as a little one that was used to just like 2 frames moving. It was amazing. So
Mhm,
I feel like I don't know, I just feel like for that legacy that you always have to come in strong with the visuals for that, because
mhm,
that's, in my mind, that's what I think of when I think of the game. And I mean, I don't know, maybe nobody else really thinks of it that way, but I think like art design and just the way it looks is super important. So
well, like, compared to, well, in my piece, what I was trying to touch on is like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time for me, what came
mhm.
out at a great time because it kept platformers alive in the sense,
Yeah,
as well as introduced time mechanics into games, which wasn't widely popular back then. You had Blinks the Cat, and then like they just kind of dropped that out, and
yeah,
then you had games like Sands of Time, and it created this interesting dynamic where you dying is not the end of the game. You're allowed to reverse it, and lo and behold, we see a lot of that now.
I was just gonna say, like, that's like almost the theme of this year,
Yeah.
and like what we saw at E3 for several games, and just
Mhm.
games that I've personally reviewed this year, so
You
it's
die, just rewind time a little bit.
exactly, yeah. So
Um, and so it's like you have story of Sands of Time is
mhm,
already inherently sound. Like, it already works. We already like it, but the fans like it, you know?
yeah,
And anybody outside of that nostalgia who sees this game is not gonna wanna play it. That's where I'm coming from.
yeah,
No
yeah,
kid, no 12-year-old kid is gonna put down Fortnite for this game. That
right,
sucks
right,
because they're only killing this game more than it was already killed before. Like, they're killing the series, and
yeah,
and that really sucks. That
yeah.
really
If
sucks.
I mean, yeah, like that's a really good way to put it. Because to be honest, if a Let's Player person is not interested in playing it, it's just not going to get uh, like you could have made this game look like appealing enough, like that demographic would have been like, oh, this looks awesome, and they might not have ever had any experience with it, and they would have dived in and probably loved it. But I just don't think, personally, I don't think a lot will come of it. You know, I don't know. It doesn't look great, man.
It's not. I mean, gameplay can be as good as it is, but no one will want to
Yeah,
play it.
yeah,
And they're
exactly.
already to add fuel to the fire. They're releasing it in January 21st on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. They're not even bringing it to next gen consoles. Like that's how much they don't give a shit about this
Dude,
game. They didn't
how
even
how
they didn't even put the time into porting it.
how cool would that have been for like next gen actual remake of
Dude,
that game?
would
That
have
would have
been
been so cool.
you know what would have worked the best is just putting it on Switch. Put all your resources,
Yeah,
call it a
you know what?
remaster, make it
Mhm.
make it a Switch exclusive. You'll sell enough. You'll sell enough because
Yeah.
Nintendo people are hungry. Nintendo eShop fans are just hungry to buy games. You know, they just
Well,
love it.
yeah, and if, because I if they're like me, it's like some of those games you already own, but to play them on the go, and it
Oh, yeah.
might, you don't require as much in handheld mode, visually. So yeah, that would have been a great option. So, oh well.
It
um,
sucks.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
what
it's a great
else?
series. It's a great
Yeah,
series now. And I hope that this, I don't know, sparks some type of interest in it so that we stop getting
yeah,
Assassin's Creed games for 1 year and just get a Prince of Persia game.
yeah, yeah. That would be cool. That would be cool.
I also touched on Prince of Persia 2008. If you've never played that one, it's the cell shaded one with
Oh,
with
I
Nolan North voicing the prince, and fuck, it's
okay.
just a great. It's just a great
Nolan North
game, and
is
it ends on a
yeah.
cliffhanger, and they didn't do anything with it. They just stopped. Oh my god, and the cliffhanger is just like one of the standout memories in my gaming knowledge. Like there's just this stupid one-off Prince of Persia game from 2008 where you play it is like the introduction. You know how like credits roll and you're pretty much left doing nothing but watching the credits? Well,
Yeah.
this credits crawl, you play through the ending of the game while the credits are going. So you're still emotional about what happened, and I don't want to I mean I could spoil. I mean there's nothing to really spoil, but he's walking and holding a person in his arms and like walking
Mhm.
to this altar, but you're controlling him while the credits are going,
That
and
is
it's just a really powerful moment. Then it ends, dude. That's it.
see, and I was thinking like what was it that just focused more on like Assassin's Creed and that sort of thing? And I was like, oh, maybe it was the movie, but they made an Assassin's Creed movie as well, so it wasn't that. I don't I don't know what it was, but hopefully it gets more love in the future.
We'll,
Um,
we'll see.
yeah. Ugh.
Anyway, that's all we've. I don't know. We talked
Um,
more. We talked more than usual. But do you have anything to
yeah.
add?
Did you want to talk about? I don't know if it's something that people are excited about, but Mario, did you talk about?
Oh, the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about. Let's do a whole episode on that next week since it's
Okay,
coming out on
sounds
the
good.
18th. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right,
So
man.
next week we're going to talk about Mario Memories, guys, because I
Oh,
have that game
dang.
pre-ordered on physical because why not?
Why
Why
not?
not? All you nerds out there crying that you have to rebuy these games. And I'll give you
Oh, is that a
$30.
thing? Oh, we'll get into it, but I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get
All
into
right.
it.
Okay. Well, we'll continue this conversation next week.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can find Noisy Pixel at Noisy Pixel News on Twitter, on YouTube, Noisy Pixel News, on Instagram, Noisy Pixel News. Ian, where can we find you on Instagram?
At my name, which is Ian Goudelock. It's IANGOUDELOCK.
Awesome. Yeah, he typically stays off the Twitters, but you can find
I
him on
do.
Twitter
Yeah.
there too. But
Yeah.
Instagram is his social media of choice, and you can
Yeah.
find me anywhere at Azario Says. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.